Hey there, everybody. I hope you're having a good day in your little corner of the world. I'm having a pretty good day in my corner of the world. I'm all gussied up today because I had somewhere fancy to go, so I actually had to try and wear some makeup. And yeah, it was kind of a stressful process because I don't really wear makeup in my day-to-day life because I don't like to remove all of this at the end of the night. And I'm also not very good at making up my face. So, yeah. I guess this is related to a topic that I've been wanting to talk about for a certain amount of time, and that is the facades that we wear. And all of us have a certain personality in the workplace, a certain personality, a certain face, a certain way that we express ourselves in the workplace or at home or with our families or with our friends. And we switch roles from day to day. And I guess the metaphor of putting on makeup and it changes your face a bit is also related to that idea of putting a different face depending on the role that you are playing in your day-to-day life. I think it's normal to do that because you can't, for example, you can't really play the friendship role, or you can't really show your friendly personality, the type of personality that you would show to your friends in a workplace setting, because it might not be appropriate. You may have to be more toned down a bit, right? Or, and vice versa. You're not gonna act all muted and toned when you're with your friends. You're not gonna act in a professional way when you're with friends or when you are with family, right? So we play these roles: the role of the daughter, the role of the friend, the role of the son, the role of the sister, the brother, the employee, the citizen, the woman, the man, and whatever other roles that you play in your life, right? We play these roles, and it's easy to forget who you really are amidst all of the different kind of roles that you have to kind of partake in, right? It's difficult to figure out where your true personality, or who you truly are, what your true essence is like, because we kind of switch ourselves when we are with different people. And I've noticed that the only times that I've been really able to be myself are with people that have made me feel 100% comfortable with who I am, and I don't feel judged by them whatsoever. And also, if I make a mistake, they're not going to stop loving me, or they're not going to stop wanting to be around me just because I've fucked up in my life. They accept me for the good aspects, but also the bad aspects, right? And I feel very comfortable with those people, and I feel like I can be myself. But to what extent can I really be myself with other people? Because I'm always playing a role. And I guess this is more of a rhetorical question, and the answer is much deeper than anything I can talk about in a short little video, right? But when I ask myself who I am, who I really am I just Megan? Am I just a woman? Am I just X, Y, and Z, whatever role I play? You know? Is that really who I am? Who was I before I came into this world? And who will I be when I exit this world? I remember the first time that I really confronted death. And that was through my grandfather, because he passed away, and that was the first death in my life that really affected me, because it was the first person in my life that I was really close to, and then all of a sudden that person is just gone. And I remember during the wake, I saw my grandfather's body, but I didn't see my grandfather. It was just a body, a sleeping body. Well, not a sleeping body, but just basically a carcass. And you know, the coffin had my grandfather's body, but he wasn't there. And that's when I really asked myself, where is my grandfather? You know, I grew up in the Catholic tradition, but my family really, it's more of a tradition for us rather than like something that we actually practice and believe in. Just like certain Jewish families, I know people that are Jewish, they identify as Jewish, but they're actually atheists, but they celebrate all of these holidays because it's part of tradition, it's part of their lineage and their heritage, and that's fine. And you know, with that being said, I don't believe that somebody goes to heaven or somebody goes somewhere, but it's interesting to see, or to think about at least, what happens to the soul that was operating that vehicle. And by that vehicle, I mean this body. What will happen to, for lack of a better term, I'm using the word soul, but I don't really think the word is accurate, if I'm being honest, and it's also laden with meaning, because people have different definitions of soul. But for lack of a better term, who is the soul that is operating this vehicle? Is the soul this body? Is the soul a woman? Is the soul Megan? Is the soul this? Is the soul that? Whatever role I play, who is that soul? And who was that soul before I came to be in this body? And what will happen to the soul when this soul stops operating this vehicle? And I don't have the answers to that. That's something that I'm still trying to know about myself, with a capital S. And sometimes I think I know the answer, but then I go deeper into it, and then I'm just like, wow, there are so many layers of myself, with a capital S. There are so many things to learn about myself that I'll never really get to the absolute point where I know everything there is to know about myself. And I think part of it, my theory is that the reason why that is because we are limited to a certain extent in this body. The amount of quote unquote knowledge, and I'm saying quote unquote knowledge because I think it's not really knowledge, but an understanding or a knowing. You can only go so far in your understanding in this vehicle. At least that's my theory. Like, yes, there are some people out there that have been able to transcend and go into different dimensions. And, you know, if you do certain psychedelics, that happens, right? And it makes you question reality in this dimension and the other dimensions that exist. But even then, we are limited, right? Because we can't always travel there. And we don't know everything there is to know. And that's a terrifying thing, but that's also, in my opinion, a beautiful thing. Because you're constantly discovering new things. And there's never an opportunity for you to get bored because there's always something more to know. But then there's this balance of wanting to know more about yourself with a capital S and being curious about yourself, and also being, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not complacent. It's, because that can also be bad, but it's, the word just left me. It's content, right? Being content with who you are and where you are in your life. There's this balance of fostering that curiosity to keep things interesting in your life, but also being content with what you already know and what you already understand about your life. And you have to balance that, and that's difficult, and I don't have the answers to how to deal with that and how to find that balance or find that center. But I sure do need to practice that. Yeah. So anyway, we play all these roles, but who are you? Who are you, really? Who is that quote-unquote soul? And sometimes I feel like I understand it. I understand that I am everything that there is. But then I also feel separation. Like, I feel connected to everything sometimes, and then I feel separated to everything, right? And usually the separation comes from triggers in the external world and also triggers within myself, but like stuff that's going on in politics, stuff that's going on in the world. It's easy to feel separated. It's easy to feel powerless. And I guess that's part of the forgetting and remembering. It's the cosmic joke that people talk about, that there is no reason for this game of forgetting and remembering, but it's just the way things are. And that's the joke. Like, there is no meaning in terms of like a definitive meaning, like this is the meaning of life. It's just what you make of it, as corny as that sounds. What meaning do you want to give your life in this forgetting and remembering game? What kind of meaning do you want to give it? And your particular meaning is going to be unique to you because you're going to express yourself. If you're living an authentic life, you will express yourself in a unique way that expresses the meaning that you believe you want to give your life. So, anyway, those are my thoughts of the day. I hope you have a lovely day and a lovely journey, and stay blessed. Peace and love. Bye.